I made the best arc build ever. You're constantly amplified and able to one-shot everything. The core of the build will be combination blow, but it's 10 times better than ever before. This melee will ramp up its damage and fully recharges your dodge ability after each powered melee kill. Pair that with Gambler's Dodge to get your melee back after dodging. This means your melee recharges your dodge and your dodge recharges your melee. This allows you to go back and forth with your abilities indefinitely, so you never have to stop the action. The first exotic we're pairing with this is Liar's Handshake. Using your arc melee or being hit by a melee attack will allow you to follow up with an extremely powerful melee counterpunch that will heal you. This is great for keeping you alive, and the extra damage makes it easier to take down bosses. The other exotic is Delicate Tomb. You'll mainly use this in instances where you can't get close to enemies. I haven't seen a whole lot of people using this fusion rifle, but it's actually really good. Final blows with Delicate Tomb have a chance to generate ionic traces. Then whenever you collect an ionic trace, the next shot will jolt anything it hits. Jolt being essentially chain lightning. This will take out hordes of enemies with only a single shot. For the aspects, we have Lethal Current. After dodging, the next melee will have increased lunge range, jolts the target, and creates an aftershock. And if they don't die from that, follow-up melees will blind them. The other aspect is Flow State. Defeating a jolted target makes you amplified. Each melee already jolts targets, so you're always going to be amplified. This will make you very speedy, which allows you to close the gap against targets, which in turn makes it easier to keep combination blow active. This aspect also buffs Amplify by making your dodge regen faster. You're more resilient while dodging, and you get increased reload speed. And it only gets better with Fragments. Spark of Resistance for damage resist while surrounded by enemies, which you will be most of the time. Spark of Beacons to blind enemies with Delicate Tomb, allowing you to safely engage in a fist fight. Spark of Discharge to create ionic traces more often with Delicate Tomb, which will also give it that jolt buff. And Spark of Frequency to get an even faster reload speed. But once the new fragments are finally released, I would definitely swap out Frequency and Discharge for Spark of Feedback to get more melee damage, and Spark of Ions to create ionic traces with your melees. Now, since we're getting a ton of melee kills, we might as well buff them with mods. Melee Wellmaker will spawn Arc Elemental Wells after every powered melee. These can turn into a damage buff using Well of Ions. We can also use Font of Might to simultaneously give a damage buff to Delicate Tomb. I also used Elemental Armaments to create wells from far away using the fusion, and Seeking Wells to bring them to me in cases where I can't get close. Also, Amped Up will increase your amplified duration to 20 seconds up from 15, and Trace Evidence will spawn more ionic traces when defeating jolted or blinded targets. Long story short, get 1 or 2 melee kills, then you get 7 or 8 buffs that turn you into Sonic the Hedgehog, but with knives. Dim loadout link in the description. And watch this video for weird yet useful tricks in Destiny that you should probably know.